So it was about 8 years ago. My parents opened up a cafe, and I wanted to know what fresh coffee tasted like. And it would have been easier just to go to a local roastery and say, hey, can I get some fresh coffee? But so we looked online, did a little bit of research, bought some green coffee online, and I started roasting on my stovetop, just in a frying pan. Just kind of tossing them around, trying not to scorch them too much. We kind of fell in love with the process, upgraded to a popcorn popper, one of those air popcorn poppers to get a little more even roast. And then, from there we opened up a business. So, yes, the Golden Bean competition is the world's largest coffee roasting competition. New to the United States. I think they started it here
3 years ago, and the interesting fact it was that we knew about the competition a week before the competition took place here in Portland. He was taking off to a trip to Arizona, yes. And we found about the competition and we thought, why not?
Give it a shot.
Yeah, it wasn't even a year in business for us.
No. Mm-hmm.
And decided to enter with Three Amigos, which is our espresso blend. And a week after the competition ended, went on a trip, came back, and a medal was waiting for us on the mail.
Called up the director of it, and we're like, oh, this is cute, a participation medal. And he's like, no, you took home third place nationally. So we were at the top 15% of the United States North American coffee roasters. So we were pretty blown away by that, and pretty taken back. And then this last September we entered again for the second round, and again took home third place for this espresso blend. And there were about 30% more entries this year than last year, so the competition is growing quite largely. So the main one I'm going to let Sadie talk about is Cafe Femenino. Okay. They're a local nonprofit, and they're based out of here in Vancouver, Washington. And I'll let Sadie talk a little bit more.
Yeah, we knew about them even before we thought about having our own roasting company, and just working with the whole idea of working with females in third world countries, farmers, where it's like a competitive world, between men and women. It was like we needed to be with them and to work with them, and that's why we chose them. Other thing, we also believe, we have always believed in giving back to the community, in following our passions and doing what we like, but also giving back and trying to create a better world out of that. And that's how we chose. Matthew found the Green World campaign.
Yeah, the Green World campaign. They plant trees. Right now they're doing some work in Kenya, planting the moringa tree. And so in the coffee industry, well, not in the industry, but in the growing side of it, clear-cutting forests and rainforest is pretty prominent in the production of coffee. Clear-cut a whole rainforest to plant new trees.
Yeah.
It's actually, you can plant more trees while maintaining the rainforest. So we wanted to kind of give back in the reforestation part of the business. So for every retail bag that we sell, an equivalent amount gets donated to this campaign to plant a tree. We make our donations quarterly. And then we have a rotating nonprofit, and we try to keep it as local as possible. What was the last one that we did?
So the one that we're working right now, it's Boxer Dog Rescue here in Washington. We chose a Boxer Dog Rescue because we are owners of a boxer, and we've met with them before in the past, and they're completely volunteer based.
No kill shelter.
Yeah, we care for animals as well, and that's why we decided to feature them. But we try to work with different nonprofits that they approach us, or that we find that we believe they fit our beliefs, and so just that's how we choose them.
So we believe in leaving this planet better than when we got here, and coffee is a great commodity. It's it's the second highest traded commodity in the world. So if we can tap into that market and be able to give back to the community using the avenue of coffee, So our kind of slogan, not really a slogan, but is thank you for indulging in a cause. It takes about 5 years from when the seedling, sprouts and it gets from the nursery to actually producing its first crop. So it's about a 5-year process that these baby plants go through. Once it's into the field and everything, they're cultivated and they're well taken care of. And then the farmers go around with their baskets on the sides of the mountains, and sometimes precarious positions, and they're hand picking the coffee beans, one at a time, and they're carrying these gigantic, baskets full of coffee up these mountainsides. Then it gets to the processing plant or the drying beds. After that, there's a lot of quality control aspects of it, and that's where you'll see some of and just like in the wine world, where wine gets rated on a 100-point scale, in the specialty coffee world, coffee gets rated on the same kind of a scale. And the farmers that put more time and effort into cultivating their plants and ensuring good quality product, just like a vineyard where the farmer takes care of it. It's grape plants. It's very, very similar in the coffee world, just on a bigger scale. So there's a lot of quality, a lot of care that goes into these plants way before we even get these coffee seeds. So then the coffee bean takes its journey across the oceans or wherever it's coming from to get to us, and then we get it, and our job is to highlight what the farmers did when we're roasting coffee. So I'll take a batch of coffee, say for the first time, and I'll roast it to many, many different levels, different roasting profiles, to try to find those flavors that the farmer was trying to bring out in the whole growing process. And then when we find those flavors, we try to maintain that, that precision in roasting it to that same level, the best that we can. So really, we're just highlighting what the farmer did and spent years and years doing, and trying to provide that to the public. So we started out roasting on a very small machine, just kind of small production, and it kind of started out as just a hobby and helping my mom get her coffee shop,
Yeah, honestly, we didn't think when we started these, we didn't think it was gonna be our living, and we were gonna become like so passionate about it, So yeah, we're outgrowing what we have, which is a good sign.
Yeah, we have a little tiny roasting machine, and we're pumping a lot of coffee out of it, about 100 to 200 pounds a week, depending on, if it's farmer market season. But we've definitely outgrown this machine in the 2 years that we've been doing this, and we're looking for a larger facility. So we get a larger equipment, and we'll also be building out our first brick and mortar. We're not 100% set on where we're going to go. We have a couple different really, really good ideas. We're kind of talking to some real estate people, bouncing back ideas. It's got to be affordable, so that we can continue to give back to the nonprofits like we want to do. But yeah, we've definitely outgrown our space, and we're looking to upgrade and kind of get our first brick and mortar where people can come in and kind of see this whole process and learn and educate people about farm to cup in a little more detail. Offer tours is...
Yeah, we found that there is a lack of education in the industry. And we want to offer that. We want to, involve the community. We like to be part of the community, so we want to involve them with us as well. Offer, like we said, tours, classes, just being more open about everything that involves farm to the cup that you are thinking.
Very similar to this meeting, but a little bit more refined and a little more polished.
Yeah.
I think you kind of covered all the...
Well, I wanted to talk about collaborations that we're doing in the brewery industry. We have a lot of friends, or we like to make friends, and lately we've been mingling around the breweries, and it's another of the industries that is huge around the Northwest, so we've been picking out our heads there too. So recently we partnered with Hidden Brewery, for summer, where we did, if we weren't the first ones doing it, at least we were the first ones exposing it to the public in a large scale around the Northwest area. We created with them a hopped cold brew. So it was not a beer, it was cold brew coffee infused with hops. So we launched it, nitrogenated, and we launched it for the Vancouver Brew Fest and kind of let the public test it out.
Yeah, it was huge. So it was a nitro cold brew coffee with hops in it, so non-alcoholic. But in doing it at the Brew Fest, it really had like this like a beer flavor. A lot of people they'd been drinking already, but they mistaken it for beer. They thought it was a beer that had a little bit of coffee in it. So we kind of flipped the tables, and I guess the best description that we got from it from somebody else was it was like a high-end O'Doul's. So maybe for people that were people have drinking problems, something like that, they could drink in the morning for breakfast.
Yeah.
And if they're trying to kick the alcohol or something. But it was really neat. It was a great response. We kind of gave a chance for everybody that tried it, gave them a vote. Did you like it or not? Just kind of gauge the public. And like out of 400 samples, it was just an overwhelming yes, they loved it. So I think it's something that has a lot of potential.
Yeah, and then definitely we're gonna pursue that route too. We like to be involved with the brewery industry as well.
Yeah, they want to kind of go down the route of bottling it and kind of producing it with us. But yeah, then
one of our next steps. Yes.
Yeah.
And then most recently we partnered with Ghost Runners, so we'll be launching with them what will be a coffee porter this time. So we'll go on the
back to the alcohol
side.
So
yeah, with them.
Some beer with a little bit of caffeine in it.
Yeah, so we're pretty excited because it'll be their first coffee porter and the first one for us as well. So I think it'll be a fun experience and a good collaboration.
Yeah.